You know that story about the guy who quit a pack-a-day habit just from reading a book? It really flips the script on how we think about self-control.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about willpower or patches or any of that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It was just a fundamental change in perspective.
And it's the perfect example of what happens when you apply the inversion of the second law of behavior change. You have to make the bad habit unattractive.
Right.
Most people trying to quit something, smoking, doom scrolling, whatever it is, they're so focused on the sacrifice, on what they believe they're giving up.
Yeah, that he was losing something valuable. But the power of that book was how the author just systematically took that belief apart. He reframed every single moment, the after-dinner cigarette, the stressful moment, and kept hammering home what the smoker was actually gaining.
Health, freedom, energy, confidence.
Exactly. They
Right.
weren't sacrificing a thing. They were being freed from something.
That reframing, repeated again and again, it's so crucial because it gets at the underlying mental math. The core insight here, and it works for any bad habit, is, well, it's this. If your brain no longer predicts a genuine benefit from the habit,
Then the motivation to do it just disappears.
it evaporates. It forces this intellectual and emotional decoupling. We have to stop seeing these bad habits as things that actually serve us.
That's such a powerful place to start. And if we accept that this prediction, this emotional forecast is driving everything, we have to dig into why these cravings are so powerful in the first place.
Because the surface craving is just, well, it's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And it's completely misleading.
Okay, so what I think I want to say, to check my phone or eat a bag of chips, that's not the real story.
Not at all. That's just a modern temporary fix. It's being driven by a much deeper, much more ancient motive that your brain evolved to satisfy.
I think the simple examples make this so clear. You might crave a cookie, but deep down, that's really about the fundamental need for energy, for food, maybe even for emotional comfort.
Exactly. Your brain didn't evolve a specific desire for Instagram or for processed snacks, but it absolutely did evolve these incredibly robust systems for survival and connection.
Right. So to get leverage over our modern vices, we need to understand those core human desires.
Yes, because they're the engines that modern tech and modern vices have learned to hijack so successfully. The first batch is all about basic survival, right? Conserving energy, getting food and water, and that deeply ingrained drive to find love and reproduce.
And then you have the more social and psychological drivers. The need to connect with others, to win social approval, to reduce uncertainty, and of course that drive for status and prestige.
Just think about that list for a second. We are constantly looking for modern solutions to those ancient problems.
So using a dating app.
That's a high-tech solution to the primal need to find a partner.
And spending hours scrolling social media.
That maps directly onto the need to connect, to bond, and maybe most critically, to win social acceptance.
And the endless Googling of every random thought or refreshing the news. That's just trying to reduce uncertainty in a world that feels completely overwhelming.
So our bad habits are, in a way, modern-day solutions to ancient desires.
And they're powerful because they scratch an ancient itch, even if the tool they use is, well, it's pretty damaging.
Which brings us to a really key point. The underlying motive itself isn't the problem. The desire for comfort or to reduce anxiety, that's neutral.
Wait, okay, so if the motive is neutral, that deep need to feel calm, let's say, why is it so easy to pick up destructive solutions like smoking instead of, constructive ones like running?
Because your current habits are simply the learned solutions that gave you the quickest, most immediate reward in the past. If you at some point linked feeling anxious with the quick fix of nicotine or sugar, your brain just goes, success, and it optimizes for that solution next time.
Ah, I see. So the problem isn't the motive, it's the shortcut that got hardwired through repetition. You keep doing it because that core emotional need never actually went away.
It never went away.
That makes perfect sense. But knowing the root cause is one thing. To really find the leverage, we have to look at the mechanism. That split-second moment between the cue and the action. It's all about prediction, isn't it?
Absolutely. Life feels reactive, like we're just responding to things. But fundamentally, every single action you take is preceded by a prediction.
Our brain is a prediction machine.
Constantly running scenarios. It sees a cue, the ding of your phone, the smell of coffee, and it instantly runs a simulation predicting the outcome if you act.
Like seeing a traffic light turn green. The prediction is, if I hit the gas, I'll get closer to where I'm going. And that positive prediction is what makes you act.
Yes, and it happens thousands of times a day, completely under the radar. But what's so critical for changing a habit is realizing that its power isn't in the cue itself. It's in your interpretation of that cue.
Right, right. The example of two people looking at the same cigarette. For one person, it triggers this compelling urge. For the other, disgust.
Same cue, totally opposite internal prediction. One brain predicts temporary relief, the other predicts long-term harm. The cause of your habit is the prediction that comes before it.
And that prediction is what we feel as a craving.
That's it.
So how do we define that craving simply? Because it can feel so overwhelming.
A craving is really just the desire to change your internal state. It's the feeling that something is missing. You can almost see it as a gap.
A gap.
Yeah. Between your current state, I feel bored, I feel stressed, I feel lonely, and your desired state. I want to be engaged, calm, or connected.
And the bigger that gap feels, the stronger the craving to act and close it becomes.
Which is why when people reach for the chips or start scrolling, they don't actually want the chip or the like. They want to close that emotional gap. They just want to feel different.
Okay, so if our habits work because they make a faulty prediction seem attractive, the path forward isn't just about willpower, it's about reprogramming that prediction.
Exactly. Reprogramming the emotional association itself.
Let's get into how you actually do that. Starting with, maybe, the simplest shift of all. Just the language we use.
It starts with your vocabulary. We so often frame our tasks as burdens we have to do. I have to wake up early. I had to finish this report.
That language signals a burden, a loss. It's a negative prediction right from the start.
But the strategy is to just change one word. You change have to get to.
I get to wake up early for work.
I get to make dinner for my family.
The task doesn't change, but the mindset shifts completely from obligation to opportunity. You start focusing on the benefit, not the burden.
And the genius of it is that both statements are true, right? You have the obligation, but you also get the opportunity that comes with it. It's about which truth you decide to focus on.
The story of the man in the wheelchair captures this perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
He could have easily seen his chair as a prison, but he reframed it completely. He said, I'm not confined to it, I'm liberated by it, because without it, he'd be stuck in bed. That is a total emotional overhaul. And we can apply that same benefit-focused thinking to specific habits. Take exercise. That so often feels like a punishment.
Right. The prediction is unattractive. So instead of, I need to go run to burn calories, which is all about effort and pain, you reframe it toward the gain. It's time to build endurance and get fast. Or, I get to clear my head. The focus shifts to skill and a positive future state.
Finance is another perfect one. Saving money feels like sacrifice.
A hugely unattractive prediction for most people. But saving isn't sacrifice, it's buying freedom. It's securing your future options. The prediction changes from, I can't have this now, to, I'm building a better future.
Living below your means increases your future means.
That's the prediction you want to amplify.
And what about something like meditation, where the immediate prediction is often frustration because your mind is going to wander?
That reframe is maybe the most important of all. Most people see the wandering mind and think, I'm failing.
I've been there.
But if you can shift that, if you realize that every interruption is actually an essential chance to practice returning to the breath, then suddenly the distraction isn't failure. It's the raw material for growth.
You're not predicting failure anymore. You're anticipating a chance to practice.
It's the core strategy. You take the negative association and you flip it to highlight the gain. But sometimes you need something a little stronger than just a mindset shift.
You need something more automatic, right? Like a motivation ritual.
Exactly. Reframing is cognitive. A motivation ritual is behavioral conditioning. They're intentionally practicing associating a hard habit with something you already enjoy. You're building a new, powerful cue.
The example of Ed Lattimore, the boxer turned writer, is perfect here.
Yeah, he struggled to get into the deep focus needed for writing. So he started by putting on his headphones, playing music he loved, and then immediately starting to write.
He just paired those two things together.
Over and over.
Yeah.
10, 20, 30 times. And pretty soon, the headphones themselves, originally just a tool for music, became the automatic cue for concentration.
So strong that eventually he didn't even need the music anymore.
Didn't need it. The simple act of putting them on told his brain, okay, it's time to focus. And the craving for that focused state just followed the cue.
It's a psychological shortcut. I mean, athletes do this all the time, don't they? The pregame ritual.
Constantly. A baseball player with a specific 10-minute routine before he steps up to bat. Yes, it warms him up. But its main job is to put his brain in game mode. It conditions his mind to predict focus and flow the second that ritual begins.
So you can adapt this for anything. If you want to feel calmer, you could practice pairing, taking 3 deep breaths, and smiling with something that genuinely makes you happy.
Like stepping into the sun or petting your dog. Do that pairing enough. Deep breaths, smile, positive cue, and then when stress hits, you can just use the breath and smile routine
And it will trigger that craving for the calm state you conditioned.
instead of the old harmful one. You've manufactured a new, attractive prediction.
So the big takeaway here is that breaking bad habits isn't really about gritting your teeth.
Yeah.
It's more of an intellectual exercise. It's about reframing the predictions our brain makes.
It's about making the hard habit attractive by intentionally pairing it with a positive feeling. Even if that feeling is just the quiet liberation you get from not doing the bad thing anymore.
It changes the whole relationship.
Right.
And if we go back to that meditation insight for a second, that you actually need the distractions to practice returning, that the interruption is essential for growth. It leaves a pretty provocative question for you to think about. What discomfort, what distraction, or what negative thing are you trying to get rid of in your life right now?
That might actually be the one thing you need.
The one thing you need to practice becoming the person you want to be.